Good day. This is Brother Medina for Tuesday, Seventh-day Adventist. And please let us start with a word of prayer. Gracious, loving Father, be with us and give us grace and strength to obey you and to do that which is right as we are in a state of siege. So bless us and help us to be successful and protect us from this horrible virus, but more from our moral and mental state that causes us to be lax and lose vigilance. In Jesus' holy name we pray, with thanksgiving unto thee. Amen. Well, we want to continue our discussion on the issues concerning this virus. Yes, my dear people. And we are seeing many of the things we told you coming to pass. Yes, my dear people. The facts are, they have found that this virus is airborne. Various institutions away have discovered what the Chinese Communist Party knew long before, that this virus is airborne. Yes, a person can get it through coughing, through sneezing, through touching desks and other things. But now we are being told that you get it more from people talking and breathing, because once their nasal passage and their mouth, their throat is infected with the virus, when you speak or you breathe out virus in particles in the nasal passage and from saliva comes out in the ear. But they have given you before the idea that the viral particles in saliva is so heavy that it drops. What they did not tell you is that there are microparticles that float in the air and could go for 3 hours floating in the air and could go through air conditioners and from room to room and infect other people. This has already been found in China, but the World Health Organization never told us this. They have given us a storyline that this government or this Ministry of Health is slavish towards following and not doing their individual research, and so they have endangered people's lives. This speaker watched a 2 vehicle with police, male and female, come out to stop a street line where the people obviously were not practicing social distancing. And all these police officers had on were gloves. People were talking in their faces. They were in close proximity to people. And yet still, all they had on were gloves. Because you are telling us you don't have enough, so then the policemen should get infected. Because you don't have enough masks, the policemen should get infected. It was so painful to see. This was the state of affairs. And this government need to revise its World Health Organization policies and now begin to tell people to wear masks in public. Yes, my dear people, Austria did this. As of April the 1st, Austria told its citizens, when you are going to any places where they are gathering like supermarkets, etc., you are to wear masks in public. This is law for Austria now. In the Czech Republic, the whole country is made by law to wear masks. Yes, my dear people. If that be the case for them, why not for us? Why do we always have to wait as a backward nation following World Health Organization policies when it has already been proven that their policies have been corrupted by Chinese money? All this has now come to light. So much that the leader of the World Health Organization is being called upon by nations to resign. Yes, my dear people. Now take, for instance, the name COVID-19. What does COVID-19 mean? It means nothing. Yet the World Health Organization gave us this name to try and disassociate from people's minds where this virus originated. COVID-19 means nothing. When you have Ebola, here is a virus named after the Ebola River where it was found in Africa. When you have West Nile virus, here is a virus named because it was found in West Nile River. When you have Japanese encephalitis, it is named because it was first identified in Japan. When you have Spanish flu, when you have African swine flu, things like that identifying where it was originated from or where you found it originally. Yet you don't want people to say Wuhan, SARS, coronavirus, because this is not an ordinary cold coronavirus. This is a coronavirus that has parts engineered to it like SARS, MERS, HIV, and other severe bronchial viruses put together in one. It's a chimera. That's why the best name for this is Wuhan SARS coronavirus, not COVID-19. We need to stop following World Health Organization propaganda and do individual research which will protect people more. We are Tuesday Seventh-day Adventists. We follow Jesus Christ who guides our hearts and shows us the right thing and brings revelation to us. And look, he already showed us all what they are now finding out. What they are now finding out. For instance, that they knew from the start that the virus was airborne. That when a person talks, or when a person breathes out, if you have the virus, it goes into the fine, minuscule droplets, and the breeze carries it and it floats around, especially in rooms, and people can breathe it in and get infected. This is what has caused the rate of exponential multiplication of infection. It's a highly infectious disease. And apparently the leader of the World Health Organization knew this long before now. This which universities in different parts of the world, by doing research, have found out. Now I have in my hand here a document I need to read for you. It is Thailand Medical News, and the document is February the 16th, 2020. Now look how long, February the 16th, 2020. The name of the document is Breaking News. World Health Organization chief says coronavirus is airborne, but many concealing this, including media from US, China, and Europe. They were all hiding that fact. And the World Health Organization chief said it. Now we heard from the Ministry of Health, one of those medical officers, which is supposed to be maybe chief or whatever, saying it is airborne in context of opening out equipment and all of these sort of things. That's a deception from the World Health Organization now. When it said before that this virus was airborne, they did not mean like if you're dealing with equipment to treat people and it might come out and spray or whatever. No. It was being contrasted with the Ebola virus. We were being told that the Ebola virus is very dangerous, but the coronavirus is even worse because it is airborne and highly infectious. This is what the leader of the World Health Organization had said. But the video with him saying that in Geneva disappeared from off the scene, nowhere found on the internet. One news organization retained the video. And from that, we of Tuesday Seventh-day Adventists were able to get the video to show you him literally saying this. So they knew. But then why did they stop the media from saying it? Why did they not make policies on the basis of an airborne virus which you cannot see? Instead of giving us information, it is just by touching and sneezing and coughing, when many people who don't even have symptoms spread the virus. Yes, my dear people. Why did they deceive us? Because this whole information about it came from the Chinese Communist Party, who knew the facts before, who covered up the facts, who destroyed samples, and who destroyed everything. For this reason, various nations and states are suing the Chinese Communist Party for billions of dollars. Yes, my dear people. And when all this is finished, China is going to be put down because the Communist Party has been responsible for lying over and over about the nature of the virus, the danger of the virus, how the virus spread, and all these sort of things, which was passed to the World Health Organization, and the World Health Organization spread it to the world, and this government just slavishly following the World Health Organization. When you can have common sense policy, you could think and do it. We as a church, we are not Ministry of Health. We are not big scientists and doctors. But look what we found out. They are now finding out. Look what we knew. They now begin to know. Look the warnings we found for ourselves through Christ, teaching us. They are now finding out. That's why we were able to protect ourselves so properly. Let me read the document here for you. I quote, when a leading Chinese researcher, let me just read a little higher. During the last 6 days, certain country leaders have been downplaying the seriousness of the coronavirus epidemic despite increasing death tolls and infected cases. This is by February the 16th. When a leading Chinese researcher, Dr. Zheng Kun, who is the deputy head of the Shanghai Civil Affairs Bureau, told a press briefing last Saturday in Shanghai that the new coronavirus can be spread via airborne transmission, along with Dr. Shen Yinzhang, the medical director of the Shanghai Public Health Clinic Center, who also made the similar statement at another press event on the same day. They were immediately reprimanded by the Chinese authorities, and China embarked on another PR exercise to refute these claims. Did you see that? It's the Chinese Communist Party that is responsible for not people knowing that this virus can be spread via airborne, and that it is an airborne virus. It continues in the document. Surprisingly, certain other countries' leaders and health authorities also sided with China and refuted these claims despite no studies indicating that the coronavirus was not transmissible by airborne means. Why are they siding with China? Why is monetary aid and cheap goods from China being used and so much to influence the mind of leaders that you can cause your own people to suffer? Look, the government down here told us they were to receive about 4,000 test kits from China. And they give the impression it's such a good thing. Look, they help us because CAFA only have a certain amount. Yet the Chinese test kits have been found to be only 30% accurate. Only 30% accurate. That is why many of the Asian countries and countries like Denmark, like Netherlands, like the Czech Republic, like Turkey and others have sent back these test kits to China because it is not working properly. And the end of it will only be to cause infections to spread more. Yet we tout it as a great thing because we get test kits. Look, we of Tuesday Seventh-day Adventists are not medical health professionals. And we know that Germany has the best test kit. Import from Germany. Talk to the Germans. You're going to get proper test kits that are 99% accurate, instead of a 30% accurate, poorly made Chinese product which have been sent back to them by many nations. Yes, my dear people, even another country sent back over 600,000 masks from China because they found that those masks were not working properly, that the virus could have still come through them, that the filter system was not good. They sent back so much, thousands of masks to the Chinese. And yet we are touting as if that is something good. Learn to do things for yourself as a country. This is a country with people with initiative, with the spirit of invention. And the government could commission factories to make masks for people. Let a couple of factories make masks for health workers, and the rest of factories make masks to put to the pharmacies for people to get 2 or 3 at least. This is the way you will slow or cut down the rate of infections. And then social distancing doesn't work so good. Because if somebody had the virus in that crowd there that the police were managing, I tell you, the police would have gotten it. When you see people outside of banks or groceries or other places together, you know one thing for sure, many will not practice social distancing. But if you have a mask, you will protect others and others will protect you. Because if you have the illness, you wouldn't be able to spread it through the mask. And a person who don't have the illness, if they have a mask, it will block them from getting infected. So just using that is important. So set up factories. This way the country could have its business going forward and running, and you would be making money because we are sure other Caribbean countries will want masks from you. But if you follow the World Health Organization policies, which came from China, and by the way, all the Chinese wear masks, but the World Health Organization telling us it is only those who have the disease that should wear the mask. And that it is only for nurses and doctors who are on the front line. Nonsense. It's for everybody. Nurses and doctors included. So make enough. Make enough. I am sure the government can make over 1,000 masks a day, therefore about 6,000 to 10,000 masks a week. If they would commission factories to do it as a matter of national security. But this backwardness of just telling people social distancing is very difficult to do it. You just walk through the street. I'm walking through the street. I'm trying to keep myself by myself. And so many people encroaching on my space. When I move away from them, that they wouldn't encroach upon my space, I encroach upon other people's space. You're telling people something that is difficult to practice, when it would have been easier if they were to wear protection of masks and probably a glasses or goggles. Yes, my dear people. Notice this in this document, we are told here that this virus is transmissible by airborne means, and the world leaders were not telling people. Let me continue the document. It says, if one was merely to Google online, you can find evidence of individuals from government figures to health authorities and health professionals from certain countries making public and media statements claiming that the COVID-19 disease is not airborne. Whose directive are they following? The World Health Organization. Where did they get it from? The Chinese Communist Party. There is no benevolent communism. There is no loving socialism. It's a brutal thing. Remember, the Chinese Communist Party under Mao Zedong is responsible for the death of 66 million Chinese. Why are you taking their advice? You are a democratic country. You have elections. Why must you slavishly yield to poor quality made goods and a whole sort of propaganda and lies? For what? Let me continue to read. It tells us this. World Health Organization held a press conference on the 11th of February. Did you see the date? 11th of February 2020 in Geneva, in which the selected invited media and wire agencies were given a briefing about the coronavirus. During that briefing, the media was publicly told by the World Health Organization Director General Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus and his team that the coronavirus is airborne and even more dangerous than the Ebola virus. Yes, he did say so. This Thailand medical news is not lying. He did say so. I am speaking and I've watched the video over and over where he is saying that. A few hours after the event, it was claimed by a source that certain high-level authorities, not from WHO, requested that the media omit any mention of that, and all footages of the event was to be deleted. However, a Canadian news network called Global News retained footages of the whole proceeding and posted it online on YouTube. We now have this footage, while the others deleted it. Why were the news media complicit with this directive from whosoever? And why didn't who follow what they knew before? Since the 11th of February, millions of people would not have been infected. And thousands would not have died if this were the case. Yes, my dear people. Let me read a little more in this document. It says this: none of the media that attended the event ever mentioned about the airborne and potency effects of the coronavirus to this day. We also have been told by a third party in China that a group of Chinese researchers have actually done a study to prove that the coronavirus is indeed airborne, but have since been reprimanded by the Chinese authorities. Did you just see that? So you find somebody is hiding something from the public because they don't want us to know, because apparently they want people to die, to cut down the population, to bring the earth down to sustainable levels for the New World Order. And as a result of that, they have allowed this virus to spread and make people become vulnerable while they actually thought that they were protecting themselves. Yes, my dear people, this is the reason why we call upon the government to do what was found. Even the Chinese study based upon bus rides and the virus spreading found that all the people who wore masks in the bus did not get infected from those who didn't wear masks and spread it. Even a Chinese study showed this. This one was also mysteriously deleted. But we got the study. We got the account of it. It actually shows that those who wore masks did not get infected. Why is it so hard for this government or Ministry of Health to understand this? Why do they have to give people the impression as experts, as if they know the masks don't help? They tell you, well, it could come in at the side of the mask. Suddenly the virus becomes aerodynamic, that it could move and spin around in the air and come through narrow spaces in the mask. Suddenly, but it can't protect you in front. Some of them say, well, look, the mask have plenty virus in front and you might touch the mask. Well, if it had plenty virus in front, you know what that means? You have saved yourself from getting it. It's on the mask. Just show the people how to handle the mask, just as how you show people how to wash your hands. But all those things are bogus excuses when they can do better. The Center for Disease Control, as of April the 1st, have declared to Americans that they should wear masks in public. So has the Surgeon General in the United States. Yes, my dear people. All this from the Trump administration. And this is the reason why we are saying to you, get your masks and wear it. The mask that we in our church makes for us, the size of the virus, our mask can keep it out from getting to your nostrils or your mouth. Because our masks are made up of materials that the virus would be like an elephant trying to get through a needle. This is how good our masks are. And if we as a church can do it, why is it that the government cannot commission factories to start to make masks as a matter of national security? Ramp up production. You can sell to Grenada, St. Vincent, Dominica, Barbados, and other countries. You will make money, and at the same time, people will be protected. Why can't you do this? It's a good business policy. And instead of just social distancing, all a person have to do is to wear a mask and they could go about their commerce and their business. And you wouldn't put people on this tightrope balancing act as to whether they're encroaching a person's space or not. When a simple matter is to wear masks, that's all we are asking. Humble yourself. Remove your pride. Remove the hard-heartedness. This is a matter of life and death for people. And in life and death for people, we have to all be humble and be truthful. If we study the World Health policies, the World Health Organization policies, and we also study other university studies and found that the virus is airborne. Listen to this. Another university found out, and the doctor was telling Will Smith, that the virus spreads more through breathing out and talking than by touching doorknobs and surfaces. That's a minor way in which it spread. That's how come the virus is able to spread so far, so fast, and so wide. Because people were breathing it out. People were talking it and it was airborne. They were talking with it and it was airborne. And people were getting infected in rooms and other places. And not from touching or somebody coughing and sneezing. Because many, many people got infected by the thousands from people who had no symptoms. Yes, my dear people. And this is the reason why, if you want to run a policy, forget the World Health Organization. If you want to take some of the things they say, all well and good. But you are a sovereign nation and you have to protect your people. Do independent research like us. You mean we would make a better Minister of Health than a Minister of Health because of our research? And we are only a church, the called out ones from Christ, who he has put light upon our minds and truth upon our minds. He has put light and truth upon our minds, and we know. That's why we can tell you. And other things we show you, that China will fall, that America will be the number one nation in the world, enough to influence every nation, religiously speaking. All that is prophecies in the Bible, and we are telling you this. Because there is no benevolent or loving communism. No loving socialism. It's only about lying and propaganda, deceit and force and murder. And why should governments be complicit with a regime that is responsible for killing 66 million of its own people? All this thing must stop. Changes must be made. The wrath of God is upon us, and it will be upon every nation who do not heed the call of God to repent of their sins and accept Jesus Christ as their Savior. But if you think this one is worse, if you think the Wuhan SARS coronavirus is bad, something worse is coming. And this time, organizations of care and for the health of people must be made properly ready and stop receiving Chinese money, stop having propaganda, stop lying to people, stop hiding certain information. Let people judge for themselves that they may protect themselves and not be vulnerable while they think they are protecting themselves. I felt it in my feelings, deep in my feelings. I felt it in my mind for those police who were doing their jobs so faithfully, trying to break up meetings outside when they should have social distancing. And they were among the people trying to stop them. All they had on was gloves. Nobody was touching anything to make anything get on their hands and then to their nostrils. But people were talking in their faces. And scientific studies have shown micro droplets floating in the air and going to people's nostrils. This is a study that was proven. We will show all of this to those who want to see it on television. We'll show you the studies themselves. So these poor police were unprotected. It was so grievous to see. They were trying to do good, and yet they were not properly protected. All this must stop. Yes, health workers need masks, but we need masks also. Let the government commission factories to make their own masks, make proper masks, so that we can have at least 10,000 in production a day, and therefore have enough to know that we can protect people. Yes, my dear people. So, may the grace of God be with you and bless you and give you his divine love, God's divine love to protect you, in Jesus' holy name, until we meet.